Welcome back, Mrs. Whitney.
Oh, home. I can't believe I'm home.
Perhaps you'd like to go upstairs and rest?
No. I just want to look at this room for a while. I didn't think I'd ever see it again.
Maybe Mrs. Whitney would like a drink, Spencer.
I'd be happy to fix you something.
I haven't had a drink in days.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a nightmare. I couldn't believe it really happened and is happening.
Don't think that way, Mrs. Whitney.
It's true. It's not over yet. I may be out on bail, but I am not free.
Try not to worry about it.
Try not to worry about it. If the jury indicts me for murder, I go to prison for life. I'd rather die.
I'm sure that won't happen. I'm sure the jury will recognize your innocence. Don't you agree, Nora?
Of course I do. We don't think you could have murdered that woman in cold blood the way they say you did.
That's what my attorney says, my new one.
The gentleman we saw at the police station?
Yes. His name is Bennett Matthews, and he's good. My car recommended him, so I know he's good, and he said that the jury will probably be in my favor.
Oh, I'm sure he knows what he's doing. After all, he did manage to get you home.
Morning. Hi.
Here it is, Mr. Gentry. Sorry it took so long, but that much money in cash requires a number of countings.
I understand. Well, listen, thanks a lot.
Now, don't you think you should count it yourself?
Oh, I'm sure it's right. I mean, I'm sure you people can count better than I can.
Still, $100,000 is $100,000, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is $100,000.
And I still think it's a mistake to travel with so much cash. You should really have taken a bank check.
Well, Mr. Frobisher, you know, I'm just following orders. Cash is what Mrs. Whitney wants. Cash is what she gets.
Yes, well, it's her money, of course. Tell me, is Mrs. Whitney planning on another vacation?
That's right. She's going on a cruise, a long cruise.
Nice to be rich, isn't it?
I don't know, but I would sure like to find out. Thanks again.
Did you read this?
Yes, I did, Mrs. Whitney.
At least they could have chosen a better picture.
Excuse me, Mrs. Whitney.
Yes, Spencer?
I was wondering about dinner this evening. I've been in the kitchen, and I'm afraid there isn't much food in the house.
Spencer, I couldn't possibly think about eating anything.
I thought perhaps I might go to the market and do some shopping.
Of course, we weren't prepared for your homecoming.
You know what I'd really love right now? A big, thick piece of meat.
I'd be happy to fix anything you like.
We could barbecue it. Spencer and I cleaned off the patio this morning. The weather was so nice and warm, we thought it would be a good idea.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be around long enough to enjoy it, but I'd love a steak, Spencer.
Spencer, why don't you stock up on supplies? I assume Mrs. Whitney will be dining in from now on.
Well, I can't really go to any restaurants until the grand jury decides what they're going to do with me.
Yes, I think that's a good idea, don't you, Spencer?
The decision is Mrs. Whitney's, Nora.
Well, I might as well stay here. I don't want to go anywhere.
In that case, perhaps I should start looking for a cook.
I don't think that's a good idea, Spencer. I mean, we don't want a stranger in the house now.
I think Nora's right. I don't really want anyone new around here. There must be another answer.
We could have your main meals catered.
Then I wouldn't have to go to any restaurants.
Fine, I'll make the arrangements, but we'll still need some staples, so if you'll excuse me.
Thank you, Spencer. Well, I can't really go out, but I want to see people. No, I don't want to be a prisoner in my own house. I have an idea.
Yes, Mrs. Whitney?
Why don't you get me Mike Carr's number? I'm going to call him and see if him or Nancy can come over tonight.
Hi.
Hi.
I was on my way over to Sid's for some lunch. I thought I'd stop by and see if I could convince you to join me.
Oh, Calvin, I'd love to, but I've got so much work to do here. I just thought I'd brown bag it.
You always do that. Oh, come on, Didi. It'd be good for you. It'd be good for me. I would love a warm meal and some comfort.
Well, I understand the need for a warm meal, but why the comfort?
Well, I guess has something to do with what I did this morning.
And what was that?
I finally sent that letter to Star. I went over it all last night. I mean, I even rewrote the thing twice. Then I went back to the original, and that ended up being what I sent.
I know it wasn't easy for you, Calvin, but the letter that you read to me, at least what I heard of it, was very beautiful.
Yeah, well, thanks, but I wasn't trying to be poetic. I was just trying to really let her know how I felt, you know? And of course, hurt her as least as possible.
It really hurt you, though, didn't it? To put those words down on paper.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey.
Yeah.
Come here. Feel better?
I can't tell. Try again.
It's over.
Yeah. It's on its way to New York.
Okay, now, we have got one green salad with Italian dressing and one Italian salad with house dressing, and... Mitzi, what does this say? What was your salad again?
Mine was a green salad, Mitzi.
Me Italiano.
Well, you should have been able to remember that, Mitzi. That's where Kelly lived.
Gavin, please don't confuse me. I mean, I know Kelly lived in Italy, but he could have also lived in a house.
That's right. That's what I want. The house dressing.
Me too, but on the green salad.
Oh, my gosh. I think I've been too long away from this job. Okay, now. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now. We all want salads, right?
Right. What, 2 green salads, one with the house dressing, one with Italian dressing. You got that?
And 1 Italian salad with house dressing. It's simple.
It is?
Yeah.
All right, listen, why don't we all get the same thing?
No,
okay?
no, Jody. I am going to get this right. You wait.
We're waiting.
Fried dinners and 1 Swiss steak and a salad to go. Right, I'll have it over to you in about a half hour, okay? Fine.
Okay, now, Sis, I have these 3
Oh,
salads.
not now, Mitzi, okay? What is it with this trash can, anyway?
Well,
hasn't anybody emptied it all day long?
St. Louis sick, remember?
Well, come on, let's get it out of here before the Board of Health comes and closes us
But
down.
Sis, I've got these 3
Look,
salads.
I'll take care of the salad orders. You do that, all right?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
This I hear, Kelly, you are going to be Jody's boss.
Yeah, well, in a way, Jody is going to be the new hostess of the children's show I'm producing.
Hey, that's great, Jody. You're going to be terrific with those kids.
I hope you're right.
Isn't the name of that show Penny's Playroom?
Yeah, something like that, but we're going to have to come up with a new title now.
Well, why don't you call it Jody's Place?
Jody's place. Yeah, well, why don't we forget about putting my name in the title? I mean, I might not work out, and then you'll just have to change it again.
Yeah, well, why don't we worry about the title of the show some other time?
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't you keep the name, but call it the Penny Playroom?
I don't get it.
Well, every morning when the kids come in, you have each of them put a penny in a big piggy bank, and then when it's all full, you give it to some worthy charity.
Well, that's an idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea. It'll teach the kids the meaning of charity.
Well, maybe you could have them pick out their own charity every week.
And you can think up some cute name for the piggy bank.
I'll tell you what, Sid. If you ever want a job in children's programming, see Gavin.
Thanks, but I got a job, and I better get back to it. Did I get those salads right?
Yeah.
Listen, Kelly, next time you have a job to offer, please remember me, huh?
Oh, well, that'd be a great idea. Then we could work together again.
Yeah, well, there aren't any openings right now, but I'll certainly keep my eye open for them.
Oh, listen, I was only kidding. You've done enough for us already.
Us, huh?
Yeah, I guess we always sort of think of each other that way.
Yeah, I was just
trying to think of what it would be like to be an us.
What about you and Val? I mean, or shouldn't I say that?
Well, Val and I were an us until Jim Dietrichson came into the picture.
Well, I thought Val wasn't seeing Jim anymore.
Well, she wasn't for a little while, especially when she found out that he was lying about that plastic surgery he was supposed to have done at the clinic in Lucerne.
Well, you'd think something like that would be enough to sour her on the guy forever.
Well, obviously it wasn't. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. That's okay. It does show us one thing. Just how much she does like this guy.
Hi, they just came in.
Boy, he looks happy, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Sydney, my favorite restaurateur.
Tous.
Haven't seen you around in a while.
I've been
Smiley.
busy all the time. That's what keeps me looking so young. My next birthday, I'm gonna be 104. It's so good when you laugh. You gotta keep busy to look good. From the way you look, I'd say that you're probably the busiest girl in the whole world.
Ah, now I know it's where you've been. To Ireland, huh? To kiss the Blarney Stone.
And it's just feeling good, I am, Sydney. I'm feeling real good.
Oh, you got some good news about the theater?
Hey, pretty soon we're gonna own that theater. And I'm gonna name it after you.
Sounds to me like something's coming up.
Everything's coming up. Gardenias. 100,000 gardenias.
Well, she certainly didn't say very much, did she? What did she tell you?
Look, she is back and she is fine. That is all that matters, so stop fretting.
You're a fine one to talk. I never saw anyone so fretful in all my life.
Yeah, well, I have my reasons.
I brought one menu.
No, it's okay. We'll share. Look, miss, that letter I left here, did it get off all right?
What letter?
You did post some letters for Sid this morning, didn't
Oh,
you?
Sid's letters, yeah. Yeah, no problem. Hey, I'll talk to you in just a minute. Hi.
Smiley.
Yeah.
That's it. The letter is on its way to New York.
Well.
No problem.
My favorite word.
The guy at the bank handed the money over like it was a big bag of peanuts. I got it right here.
$100,000.
Yeah, at first he wanted to give it to me in a check. I said, no, sir. Mrs. Whitney wants it in hard, cold cash. Listen, Smiley, we've got the money now. What do we do with it?
Relax, man. This money's ours until Reagan Whitney's exonerated by the grand jury or stands trial, and that could take a little time.
As long as you keep her convinced she's in trouble.
We'll convince her, okay, with the help of our friends
That's
Nora
fine.
and Spencer.
Yes? Yes, he is. You want to talk to him? Hold on a second. There's a phone call for you, Smiley.
Thanks. Yeah, Smiley here.
It's Nora Fulton. We've got a problem, Smiley, a big problem.
All right, talk to me.
Mrs. Whitney insists on talking to the DA, my car, or his wife. They're friends of hers.
All right, I know.
Well, I was able to stall her. I told her that no one was in at the office when I called. They must be out to lunch, but I can't do that forever.
Yeah, of course you can't.
What are we going to do?
All right. I think we all ought to blow out our brains. Don't worry. I'll take care of it. I can take care of anything.
Well, you'd better. This thing's a lot trickier than I thought it would be.
Hey, listen, don't worry, okay? You'll be fine. You've got a good head on your shoulders, and come to think of it, the rest of you is pretty good, too. Listen, I think we ought to get to know each other, so why don't we get together sometime? What do you think?
Don't you think I understand what's happened, Spencer? I know what's happened. You've lost interest. You no longer feel that I'm going to be of value for either one of you two.
I never thought it was going to be easy trying to prove your identity, but that doesn't mean I ever intended to abandon you.
Then why are you trying to stop me from doing what I want to do, from the only thing I can do, from going public, from going to the DA, from telling him what happened?
Then what?
He'll mount an investigation and he'll find out what really went on.
They won't, Schuyler. There's no reason for them to do that.
Well, then find me this damn woman, Spencer, so that I can wring her neck and get her to admit that she's a liar and that she married an imposter.
That's out of the question. The more you'd accuse, the more she'd deny.
Well, then what do you want to do, Spencer, huh? What ideas have you got? You don't have any. You've run dry. Admit it.
You're right. I had run out of ideas, but things have changed.
What's changed?
Something has happened. Something totally unexpected. It may prove to be the answer to our problem.
What's that?
You're going to have to trust me. You're going to have to let me handle things the way I see fit, and above all, we must keep Libby out of this. Do you understand?
What is this, a double cross?
Let me do what I have to, and you'll get everything you want.
I don't understand you, Geraldine. How could you desert me at a time like this? I've got a good mind to call you and tell you exactly what I think of you. I'm sure I could find you in Washington if I really wanted. But why should I? You don't even care if I go to prison for the rest of my life.
Mrs. Whitney, I haven't been able to reach either of the cars. I'll have to keep trying.
That's all right. Are you sure that Mrs. Saxon didn't leave a number around where she could be reached?
No, she didn't.
But she knew what had happened to me, right?
Oh, yes, she knew it all, but she decided to leave anyway.
I don't know if I can deal with this. Damien Tyler hasn't even come around. He used to come around all the time. Now when I need him, he must have a girlfriend. And I thought he was in love with me.
Whitney residence. Oh, yes, one moment. It's Mr. Carr.
Oh, thank heavens. Hello, Mike. I'm so glad you called back.
I knew you were out on bail, Raven. I'm very glad about that.
Well, I feel like a prisoner. I can't step foot outside my own door.
Actually, I think that's probably a very good idea, Raven.
Look, I need to talk to you. I thought maybe you and Nancy could come over and see me tonight.
Well, I'm afraid that's not a very good idea.
Why not?
I think you know that as DA, I have to present the case to the grand jury. If I saw you socially, that might hurt both of us.
I know, but Mike, I need to talk to you.
Raven, listen to me. It's not going to be very long, I promise you. But until it's over...
Mike!
Until it's over, take my advice. Don't leave your house. Don't call people or see anyone. Just keep to yourself. And before you know it, everything will be all right again. Will you do that, Raven?
All right. Whatever you say. I won't leave the house.
The Corbetts are about to